prominent yet personable attorney, someone who used his personality to get clients and win big cases in the low country of South Carolina. But now, he is known as something else. A killer who took a shotgun and blasted his son in the chest and head, ending his life, and then picking up an AR-style blackout rifle and hunting down his wife, killing her, leaving half his family dead on a rainy, dark June night. Alec was convicted by a jury and sentenced by the judge to a term that will prevent him from ever being a free man. But now, new shocking allegations against the clerk of the court that could get Alec Murdaugh a new trial. Allegations including tampering with jurors, influencing jurors, and getting jurors removed from the case in the middle of the trial. We are live from the Low Country with all the explosive allegations as Alec Murdaugh tries desperately to get a new trial.
Hello, True Crime Stories family. The author of Behind the Doors of Justice is Rebecca Becky Hill, 55 years old. She was elected the clerk of Colleton County Circuit Court 2 years before Alex's trial, and right now Alex's defense team is accusing her of jury tampering and requested a new trial. Chapter 1. The Verdict. Rebecca talked about Alex receiving different treatment in court like chewing gum, talking to family, and even touching family. Eric Bland said for normal defendants that doesn't happen. People in court noticed that Alex only cried when the jury was looking, and they felt like he was practicing and perfecting his snot display for weeks. Normally, reading the verdict at the end of a trial would be simple, however. For Rebecca behind closed doors, it wasn't easy this time. She was concerned and conflicted by the professional relationships she developed with Alex, his brother Randy, and the law firm. She got to know them by serving as a court reporter for 14 years in the South Carolina Judicial Branch. She knew Alex for all of those years. Rebecca was conflicted about knowing the Murdaugh family, but also having so many people watching and listening as she read the verdict. People had more than a century of love and loyalty for the Murdaugh family, but she knew justice would prevail. Rebecca was a middle school teacher and became a court clerk by working her way up through the court system. She worked administration roles for law offices for many years, then became a state court reporter. Rebecca announced her candidacy for clerk of court in March 2020, running against 2 other candidates. She was elected November 2020, filling a seat left vacant by a retired clerk of court. The clerk of court oversees the courthouse, while the judge oversees the courtroom. Rebecca received dozens of texts and emails on how to conduct the trial and how the attorneys should proceed. Rebecca handled docket management, receipt of fees, fines, and cost, maintenance of all court records, submission of reports to a variety of state and federal agencies, schedule of trials, and rosters of cases to be called. She managed staff, clerks, bailiffs, and more. At the trial, she had direct interaction with 50 professionals, including all parties involved in the case. Rebecca worked long hours, 12 to 14 hours a day. She had long nights preparing for the next day, making sure exhibits were secure, planning meetings with security, cleaning the judge chambers, break room, jury room, and courtroom. After the court released the jurors to deliberate for the verdict, Rebecca walked to the jury room to ask the jury bailiffs what the jurors wanted for dinner. But the jurors told the bailiff there was no need to order food because their verdict was coming soon. Rebecca was caught off guard and became nervous. She would soon be reading the verdict. No experience could prepare her for the pressure she felt knowing before reading the verdict. Rebecca was exhausted and battled COVID for a week. She was in her office looking out the window and called her friend. Rebecca told her friend, "I don't think I can read this verdict." Her friend said it's like reading any other verdict and calmed Rebecca down. This was life-changing for Rebecca, but she felt like people with notoriety normally make a plea deal, but not Alex. He is a narcissist. He convinced himself that he was not guilty because he cleaned up the scene at Moselle's so well and thought he wouldn't get caught. Before Rebecca delivered the verdict, the judge instructed her towards the bench and told her the order to read. She was caught off guard when Judge Newman coached her to say in the state of South Carolina verses. Alex was staring at Rebecca and wondering what was taking her so long to read it. Then she delivered the guilty verdict. Rebecca developed a good relationship with the judge. After the trial, they laughed together about him coaching her to read the verdict. Rebecca also swore everyone in, and most of the witnesses were nervous, but not Alex. He wasn't nervous, only anxious to take the stand and get it over with. Thank you for watching. We will talk about Chapter 2 as the book gets more juicy.
In the term of 2022, July, the State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010, CDR Code 0116. Okay. Guilty verdict, signed by the forelady, 3-2-23. Docket number 2022-GS-15-00593, the State of South Carolina, County of Colleton, in the Court of General Sessions, the July term of 2022. The State versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh, defendant, indictment for murder, SC Code 16-3-0010.
Shadow work is about revealing the unknown and the unconscious aspect of our personality. We experience our shadows when we are triggered in our interactions and relationships, including when we are depressed or have anxiety. Our shadow is repressed emotions from traumatic events we experience, whether it's childhood trauma, abandonment issues, or rejection, just to name a few. These are traumas that we try to forget about in order to move on with life and grow. Shadow work helps us reveal, accept, and get to the root of our pain because our triggers can guide us to understand what we deeply care about, bringing us closer to our life's purpose while identifying our toxic patterns through guided activities. Do you have a hard time dealing with your triggers or loving, accepting, and understanding yourself? Do you lack empathy, compassion, and gratitude for others? Use this best-selling shadow work journal to be your guide. It includes everything you need to face your shadows and start your healing journey. Keep this journal handy as a tool to discover and heal the deepest parts of your subconscious. Doing shadow work will help you become aware of subconscious self-sabotaging behaviors. This shadow work journal provides you easy-to-use pages laying out activities, exercises, journaling prompts, and more. Most importantly, it keeps you accountable and consistent in your journey to experience the healing you deserve. The shadow work journal includes a personal commitment contract, interactive shadow work exercises, over 30 profound journaling prompts. Get to the root of your shadow, guided pages to face your shadows when they appear, free space to express your thoughts, doodle, or take notes. The benefits of shadow work: improved interactions with others, healing generational trauma, set personal boundaries, grow compassion for yourself and others, become unstuck, more awareness and clarity of the world around you. Get your journal from our Creator's Store today.